You're dead. You picked the wrong girl to mess with. Coward, rat. Fall beneath me. I love a good fight. Finished another battle. Find more trouble?
Watch what you're doing.
Need something? I cannot thank you enough for all of the help.
I love
And
watching
here's a little
spells.
something for helping me out.
That's the closest I'd ever get to the art of magic.
Something to report? I need you to deliver some false orders to the Stormcloak commander in Dawnstar. But first, we need to get our hands on some rebel orders to make the forgeries. The Nightgate and Candlehearth Inns are frequent stops for Stormcloak runners. See if you can't convince one of the innkeepers to help you. One way or another, get me those documents. But don't do anything rash if you go to Windhelm. Well, soldier, can you do this?
My father was a legionnaire, and his before him.
Make me proud.
Wasn't doing anything else.
I'm so glad to get back to clean up after this. You will die. Time to die. For the Empire! For the Empire!
Need something? The Nords used to call me Morris, the living Draugr, because of my prowess on the battlefield and the fear I struck in my
Let's
enemies.
find ourselves more action.
Now they just call me Morris the Draugr on account I should be dead. I mean, I get it. Maybe I can't swing ebony the way she likes it. Maybe some days I wake up and my knees burn, or my back starts barking like my old lady used to when I forgot to burn the trash. But I'm hardly an old man, even for a warrior. Some say I'm still worth the swords of 20 men. I've been saying it for years. I suspect you're right. My sword, my girl, she always has my back, and I mean that literally. And there's a pine tree living in my trousers, but you don't see me bothering you about it. There's a cellar door that leads to the back of the inn, and if he passed through here, I was probably too drunk to notice. Not something, someone. It all started when I was exploring the Forsaken Cave in Eastmarch. I was being chased by Draugr, and like a dumb mule, I stepped on a pressure plate. I tell him again to go screw, said I'm too tired to be running his errands. Like I said, used to be. I reckon I wouldn't be here in this slow belly of an inn if she still was. We met in one of them forts. I was feeding Ebony a nice plate of bandit breakfast when I found one of them still in her bedroll. Now I ain't no softy, I'll kill a man in his sleep. This one, though, she just rolls over and looks at me with those big doe eyes just as I was about to take her head.
It's hilarious that the
So I
Thalmor
took her
smear
maidenhead
Talos'
instead.
name, yet they still proudly use the coins that have his
Yeah,
face
in
sculpted
truth,
on.
she probably was no maiden. Finding a real maiden in Skyrim is like finding a chicken that craps diamonds. That's what to look out for. There'd even be another senior soldier from the... what do you call it? Pennius Ocularium? Hey, my ancestors were Colovian. We founded the Legion. It's the Nibonese that made up all the little titles and rituals. A warrior doesn't go advertising his injuries. Lets the bad guys know where to stick it. You bet your sweet roll I did. A man in my position doesn't pass up easy coin, even if it means dealing with Nibonese worms. The trouble was, this senior Legion officer took exception to my reputation. Didn't like that the recruits looked up to an outsider. Ed, the weight and the pain dropped me to the ground. Now I ain't no lily liver, but sometimes a man has to swallow his pride and ask for help. If only I asked. Instead, I looked back and screamed. Funny thing is, the officer, even the recruits, they were all laughing. I was so hysterical I didn't even notice the stupid bear was licking my face. Well, my ribs hurt so bad they had to carry me here. All the while, this legionnaire has a grin on his face like an open wound. Not a week later, and there isn't a bard in Skyrim who isn't telling the tale of Morris the Draugr and the bear who pitied him. I never see this orc everyone keeps muttering about. Maybe he opened his trap once too often and got himself killed. Or worse, he's sober.
Only one way out of this. Face my justice. So it ends. Too easy. Should we find more trouble? Free. Time to die. Only one way out of this. For the Empire. You hit worse than Elisif. For House Salvian. Fall beneath me. Time to die, scum. For the Empire. You will one way out of this.
I was just getting warmed up.
Justice. Ow! Only one way out of this. You deserve no mercy. Face my justice.
Lame.
Heads up. Death wish incoming.
For the Empire!
You're down. Heads up. Just die already! You are nothing better than pelt and meat. You will die. I wish you would go to Cyrodiil with me someday. I love watching spells, but that's the closest I'd ever get to the art of magic.
Wow, that's it?
Things may go back to messy. You will die. You hit worse than Ellison. Fall beneath me. So it ends.
Too easy. Should we find more trouble? Heads up! Death wish incoming!
Coward, you rat.
Now, we get back to... what were we doing? Heads up! Death wish incoming!
Cower, you rat.
Too easy. Should we find more trouble? Looks like someone is about to have a bad day.
For the Empire. Ow! For the Empire.
No amount of stitches will fix this.
Your
Now we
evil
can
is
get
what
back
led to your
to-
downfall.
What were we doing?
For Still, for Skyrim, for High Rock, for the Empire!
One way out of this.
Fall beneath me!
You hit worse than Ellison.
Stay sharp.
The snow reminds me of Bruni. It wasn't a place I'm familiar with. There were enough for me in Cologne.
Ever wondering.
Very good. Let's see what you have here. Interesting. They know more of our plans than I expected. It would seem Fort Dunstad is in need of reinforcements. We'll make sure they won't be getting those. One moment while I
breathing all that
correct
fresh
some of these
air.
documents. That should do it. Make sure those forged documents get to the Stormcloak commander in Dawnstar. It'll throw him off our trail, allowing us to maneuver more freely. I hope Ulfric...
Then. Next Imperial I see is dead. Is that so? I don't recognize you. Why aren't you wearing your Stormcloak colors? I suppose it would be. Good thinking. All right, let's take a look. Ah, good. Looks like the reinforcements for the fort are on the way. And we have some information about enemy troop movements as well. Excellent. It's not easy running messages, what with Imperial scouts crawling all over the place. Well done. Why don't you grab yourself a drink at the Wind Peak before heading back? Until next time.
Heads up, death incoming. Coward.
Victory! Yours. I submit!
Face one way at it. For the Empire!
find more trouble?
It may be dead now, but where did it come from?
I never would have believed it if I hadn't seen it with my own eyes.
I never would have believed it if I hadn't seen it with my own eyes.
Something to report? Your objective is Fort Dunstad. Meet the soldiers preparing for the attack. Then join them in wiping out the rebels. Once you prevail, we will garrison the fort. Well, soldier, are you up to the task? I knew I could count on you, soldier.
You picked the wrong girl to mess with. For the Empire! Face my justice!